Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We gotta add a little addendum to the show map today, and so we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. Well, what's happening? It's been increasing over the last 50 years. The government...
Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here. Does the audio sound okay to you guys? What is this noise? It looks like there's a noise in here. Why is the microphone always trying to mess things up? I don't know. Are we good? I don't know. You guys will have to tell me if there's something going on with the audio. It looks like it's peaking a little bit. Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your weekdaily morning show where we bring you the latest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency technical on-chain and fundamental analysis every single day. Little echo. Oh, why? Why? Why is it doing that? That doesn't make any sense. Why would it do that? I think I know why. Check, check. So much better, isn't it? So much better, isn't it? Don't we just love having a, somebody said it sounds like you're in a bathtub. I promise I'm not recording from a bathtub. I am recording from my professional grade studio that I forgot to plug my professional grade microphone into. That's better. Let's try again. Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto. This is your weekdaily morning show with all kinds of funny technical quirks. And in today's episode, we are going to be diving into the concept of the effective federal funds rate. As you guys know, the EFFR, the effective federal funds rate, is the rate decision that the Fed comes out with every single 45 days or so as to whether or not to hike the rate, keep it the same, or drop it. And today, in just a few hours, they're going to be coming out with almost certainly a 25 basis point rate hike. We're going to see what that will do to the cryptocurrency market over the next several hours. But right now, it's kind of teed up the price of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is looking for a major rally. But we really have to wait and see how the market is going to respond to this news, as well as to multiple other pieces of news that are in the news right now, especially having to do with the war in Ukraine, and especially having to do with the different pieces of the different developing stories that are going on in crypto. The FTX story is still unfolding. The Genesis story is still unfolding. There's a Winklevoss story unfolding. Everybody is involved in crypto right now and trying to make money, and some people are doing it not exactly the right way. Let's go ahead and read chat, and we will see what's going on and jump right on into it. We got Queen in chat, who is first today. Shout out to Queen. Thank you so very much for tuning in, my friend. We've got Mike. Wait, Queen added something to her name. Oh, it's a Queen. Okay, there you go, the little emoji. We got Mike Lowry in chat. What's up? Said, good morning. Grand Roofing Incorporated. Chris Moe. Let's see who else. We've got Grand Roofing said, I thought I was late. Did the start time change, or am I just lucky and they are just running behind? Yes, I'm just running a little bit behind lately. We've got a baby on the way very soon, and there's been a lot of work to do to get that all set up. I do apologize. I'm pretty sure tomorrow we will be back at the scheduled time, or if you guys like the 10:30 slot more, we can always move the stream to 10:30. That's an option, so tell me what you think about that. In fact, I might even run a poll for that a little bit later. Alrighty, let's see. Who else do we have in chat? We got Carter Mason, Kevin Lavelle. Anybody in here who's a YouTuber, tell me why you think that all of your names are red. I'd really love to know what that is going on with that. We've got Win Peoples in chat as well. Adam Rorick is in chat. Hello. I'm just looking at the green names on my phone because it's kind of hard to see with the different colors that YouTube's giving me right now. Mike Lowry said, audio no good. That's true. Yes, that was my laptop audio, I believe, is what's good, was what's going on. You're good, Jebb. It helps me out today because I'm running behind. I missed a few shows. Well, hello. We are glad you're back. All right. Well, we started a little bit late, and we're going to be ending right around on time. So it's going to be a shorter show today, but there's frankly not a lot to talk about today. Today, we're kind of just sitting on our hands, waiting to see how the market is going to respond to the Fed rate hike. So kind of a good day for a shorter show. There's just not much going on right now. Hi, Jebb. Got a serious question. What is the cheapest way to cash your crypto? Bahamas? I don't know. What do you mean cheapest way to cash your crypto? Do you mean selling it? I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. Red means they're not subscribed. Oh, I see. Fino said red means they're not subscribed. Okay, so Levi Richards and oh my and yeah, tell me. So that's telling me who's not subscribed. Oh, I see. Okay. So there's a couple of you guys who are regulars that aren't subscribed. I might just have to start calling people out and saying you ought to subscribe to the channel. Oh, and I bet the other color are people that have the notification bell on. Richard Palacio and Michelle Sunflower, tell me if you guys have the bell turned on. That might be what it is. Tax-wise, not really going to dive into the tax questions too much. Toxic THC Gamer said, I am. Yes, your name is that kind of green color. Like Cat Tiger says subscribe, but your name's red. So maybe that's not unsubscribed. I don't know. I don't have any idea what that is. I'll have to look into that. Hit the like button. I agree. Let's go ahead and smash the like buttons. But let's go ahead and jump onto the screen. So the CME Fed Watch Tool, that's the cmegroup.com /markets /interest -rates, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can see the next FOMC meeting is in 49 days, but there's one going on right now, and there will be an announcement a little bit later. I want to say it's in the early afternoon. You can see that it's predicting for February the 1st that the rate will be a 25 basis point rate hike with a 99.3% likelihood. And then the next Fed meeting in 49 days on March 22nd, they're predicting another 25 basis point rate hike. I would tend to agree with that. I would be very surprised if the Fed did not send us to at least 5%. I could even see us going to 5.5 or 6. CME Group doesn't seem to think that's too likely. They seem to think that we're going to plateau over the next several meetings at 5.25 at most, and there's a tiny likelihood of 5.5. I've seen that before, though, because a year ago when we were starting to hike rates, they would say, oh, there's an extremely low likelihood in 5 meetings that we're going to be at 3. There's an extremely low likelihood in 5 meetings that we're going to be at 4, etc. But you continue moving to the upside, and then it gets more likely as market conditions change. This is a prediction tool that I'm going to use that's most useful for the next meeting and the meeting right after. After that, I start to get a little bit more skeptical about their ideas of what the meetings are going to be. Because if you even look over here at November the 1st meeting, actually, it doesn't even want to go to them for some reason. Let's just refresh the page here really quickly. It looks like if we were to see like the December the 13th meeting, they're giving a much larger distribution, but they're actually predicting that you're going to see the rates start coming down by December. I'm not too sure that they're going to be plateaued. They may have already started coming down, or they might be even higher. I'm not so sure that we're going to be plateauing and coming down just 0.5% towards December the 13th. So point being, let's look at February 1st, 22nd of March, really take those probabilities and predictions into calculation, but then we have to kind of back up. Speaking of backing up, let's back up to the cryptocurrency coin market cap. Cryptocurrency prices. Bitcoin right now is sitting at $23,062. It is up 38% year to date. Let's not forget just how powerful of a movement that is. Bitcoin is up nearly 40% year to date in the midst of an accumulation phase following a bear market, because I do think we're out of the bear market now. I think we're in an accumulation phase, and we're sitting at $444 billion in market cap. People are saying Bitcoin is dead. I'd ask, where do you get $444 billion worth of dead value from? This cryptocurrency market is not dead. It's not even close. Ethereum is sitting at $193 billion with a B. That is a huge, massive market. Even with this entire market being as small as it is compared to its all-time high of nearly $4 trillion, this market is still large enough to be considered, in my opinion, its own sector of the economy. This is a huge, huge, huge market, even after a massive decline that we've seen over just the last year and a half. Okay, so Ethereum sitting at 1581. Binance is sitting at 308. The stablecoins are, well, stable, thankfully. Cardano itself is sitting at $13 billion. It's lost over 90% of its value, and it's still sitting at $13 billion. That ought to tell you something about the value of this industry. Now, keep in mind, if everybody sold every single penny of their Bitcoin, every single sat of their Bitcoin, every single DAI of their Ethereum, whatever you want to say, then you wouldn't be able to cash out $1 trillion from the market. But you also wouldn't be able to cash out $1 trillion from $100 trillion out of the stock market. That's the way it works, is that when you put money into the space, it inflates the price, perhaps more so than the amount of money that you actually put into the space itself. So $1,000 can move the market, $5,000, etc. The point is, this is a very large market by any standard, even on a decline. And it might become even larger relatively soon, because Bitcoin has had some kind of healthy correction over the last week and a half. Because remember, there are multiple different ways that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency can go through correction before they go into a big rally. There's two major ways. Either one, they can go through a big correction to the downside in price. So you can see a drop of 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40%, whatever the number is, and that's a correction that allows the market to reset, to cool off, and to let the bulls or the bears, whoever is the one driving the market, whether you're in an uptrend or a downtrend, that allows them to reset the market. However, there's another way that's less commonly spoken about that the market can reset, and that is the market can trade sideways in time. This one's less commonly talked about because it's not quite as effective for resetting the strength of the bulls and the bears, because you don't have that actual correction where people are able to sell. But think about it. If you're seeing a massive movement to the upside, and then you see downward movement, well, what's causing the downward movement? Very rapid selling. On the other hand, if you see sideways movement after a very strong uptrend, what's happening? Much slower selling. It may, whether you correct over the course of 20 days or you correct over the course of 20%, it may be, and oftentimes it is, that just the same amount, if not more, cryptocurrencies actually being sold and recirculated through sideways action, as if you were to go to the downside and go through a major correction. So that's just something to keep in mind, is that it is very possible that Bitcoin is in the middle of its correction right now, just by trading sideways. People are sitting up here, they're selling the crypto that they just made that 30-40% gain on. They're getting out of their positions. They're reestablishing their positions. We're building market structure around $22,000 as support, not resistance, but this time as support. And so the people that wanted to sell are now selling, and there are new bulls coming in. And it's actually very possible that instead of just having a flash crash down to $20,000, maybe, just maybe, we've traded sideways up here for long enough, or we're going to end up trading sideways up here long enough over the next week or two, that will give us the argument that we need to say that, hey, look, Bitcoin has finished. Bitcoin has finished its correction, and now it can move to the next, move through the next phase of the upside. And so, as an example, let's just go back in history on the cryptocurrency charts, and let's look for times that happened. One time that happened, for example, was right here in the middle of the massive run-up when Bitcoin was around $20,000. There was so much exuberance. There were so many reasons to be bullish on Bitcoin at this time. We were pushing up towards $20,000. We had an insane amount of liquidity in the space from a huge amount of quantitative easing the Federal Reserve had put out. Interest rates were zero. Supply chain was completely broken. Everybody was getting stimulus checks. Everybody was at their house trying to figure out how to make money from home, and so everybody was buying crypto. Then you saw relatively soon thereafter, you saw Elon Musk get in, you saw Michael Saylor get in, you saw billionaires pouring into the space, and so instead of correcting through price, we had a little mini pit stop in correction through time, and then we kept moving. Now, of course, we're not as bullish now as we were back then, but there are other examples too. In the grand scheme of things, if you look at this little movement right here from $3,000 pulling back down to $1,800, that's around the time I got into crypto. I got in on this day right here, the 31st of July. Let's find it. 31st of July, 2017. I've been in the space for... let's look at the entire history of crypto. This is just kind of funny. This is the Brave New Coin Liquid Index for Bitcoin. I've been in this amount of time. This is the entire history of Bitcoin. I've been here for almost half of this chart. Isn't that crazy? Like, I've almost been here for half of this chart. Pretty soon I will have been here. In about a year, I will have been here for entirely half of the history of the BLX chart. That's insane. Anyway, I don't say that to toot my own horn or anything. It's just really cool. Anyway, looking at that time, what was going on back there was something kind of similar to what we saw going on right now. Bitcoin was trading sideways. It wasn't doing much. It wasn't exactly going through a flash crash. It did have a little bit of a correction here, but in general, it was kind of just trading sideways. It was really just in a glorified bull flag. And then it broke to the upside. Wonderful. That's kind of what we're seeing right now. we need to see what's going to happen over the next couple of days to see whether or not Bitcoin can actually use this bull flag territory to break to the upside, or if Bitcoin is actually just going to have a really hard time breaking to the upside and it's going to have that correction we're talking about. Is the correction that it's in right now, because it isn't a correction, whether it's a sideways or a downwards correction, is that correction going to continue sideways before it breaks out, or is Bitcoin going to have that correction to the downside before it breaks out? Either way, I do think you're going to see bullishness over the next couple of weeks. The question is, how is that going to look, and how much will the Fed's rate hike impact that? So that's the thing I want to talk about today. How is the Fed's decision going to impact the price of Bitcoin? There's a couple theories here. So the thing you have to keep in mind is that the Federal Reserve hiking rates is a very controversial issue considering how people think it impacts the market, if that makes any sense. So let me explain. There's two different mindsets here. There's the glass half full and the glass half empty. The glass half full argument is Bitcoin, the Fed has hiked the rates less than it did last time. So we're seeing a 25 basis point rate hike this time instead of a 50 or a 75. So it's actually moving in the quote unquote right direction. There's no moral objective truth here. It's just in the right direction for bullishness of crypto, if you're going to use it from that moral framework. On the other hand, the other argument, this is more the realism argument. This is more of the glass half empty argument. I tend to lean a little bit more in this direction, not in everything, but kind of in this. And that is that, well, they still hiked rates 25 basis points. The prime rate for mortgages right now is like 7.5. It's about to be 7.75 because of the rate hike. It's going to go up to 8. People are not going to be able to get home loans for less than, unless you have insanely good credit and a lot of history, for less than 9%, because the banks have the prime rate and then they add interest rates on top of the prime rate. So the fact that it's only going up 25 basis points, great. The tricky thing is, while yes, it's only going up 25 basis points, it's still going up. So that's kind of the thing. If let's say you're at war and somebody's making an advance on your territory, you're like, well, they only advanced half as much as they did last time. Great, right? They still made an advance. So this is not as bullish of a story as like CPI coming out, and CPI goes down 0.6%. That data is coming out February 14th, by the way. When that comes out and we do see CPI go down probably 0.3 to 0.5%, that's going to be great. I'm not totally sure, because we haven't seen a lot of this, exactly how this is going to impact crypto this time. The last time we saw the 50 basis point rate hike about 45 days ago, it was not the catalytic event that Bitcoin was looking for to go into the rally. In fact, Bitcoin right around that time actually went to the downside. We can go on the chart here and we can find that date. I don't remember it off the top of my head. Go to the effective federal funds rate date. That's what I thought. It was around mid-December, because it was about 45 days ago. So we look at mid-December, December 15th, when the last rate hike came in, and everybody was like, look, I'm excited. It's a 50 basis point rate hike instead of a 25 basis point rate hike. And I was kind of saying the same thing back there. The market was running up to the decision, and then the decision came in, and the market dropped, and it didn't really do a whole lot. We started rallying when the CPI data came in. So the EFFR going up by 25 basis points is theoretically a good thing for the crypto market. The tricky thing is, historically, we have not really seen Bitcoin ever react in a very bullish way to the effective federal funds rate. If we're going to have a bullish reaction to an increased rate, it's going to be on this increased rate, because this is likely to be one of, if not the last, rate hikes that we see before the Fed plateaus. They could plateau around 5 to 6%. Like I said, this will bring us to 4.75. However, as I said, we don't have a historical precedent to say, oh, it's a bullish thing when the Fed hikes rates. What we do have a historical precedent to say is when we go to bls.gov/CPI and we see CPI coming down. We saw it come down by 0.6% when was it? It was about the second week of January. And then we saw the market jump exceptionally. We may end up having to wait until Valentine's Day, which is February 14, 2023. So that's kind of what I'm getting at. Right now, we're seeing Bitcoin is trading sideways and consolidating. It may be that people are excited because the market goes through a 25 basis point rate hike, and that's lower than what we've seen, and people are thinking, okay, rates are going to stop going up. Bullish, people buy, great. There's also the idea that it's priced in, and people just don't care because people already know it's coming. Unlike the CPI, we don't know exactly what CPI is going to be. We're extremely confident what this decision is going to be. Or, because we've seen this historically, we could end up seeing Bitcoin go through a small correction when the news actually breaks of it being 25%, as people kind of breathe that sigh of relief, like, okay, well, that came. It wasn't 50, so I'll sell a little bit, but I'll hold on to the rest of it, and the market will go through a correction. Kind of my point is, I've been hoping for a break out to the upside after this market, and I think that a break of some kind is likely, but at this rate and at the next rate, I'm sorry, I had to, a 4.75, you actually might be more likely to see a break to the downside. As much as I would really like to say that you might end up seeing a break to the upside, we may end up having to wait for that CPI data to come out because, frankly, Bitcoin has run quite a lot. So, again, and this is the same thing I've been telling you guys for days. If you want to trade this market, if you're going into a long, be very careful because we've already rallied 40% and there's been no correction. If you want to go into a short, be careful about betting against the trend because we don't have confidence that the trend is over. We don't have confidence that the market has come to its final climax. We don't have confidence that the rally has come to an end. So if you're trading this, I'm not really a trader anymore. I'm predominantly just an investor and I work in the business of crypto, but if I were still a trader and I were actively trading, what I would be doing, because I did do a lot of trading, what I would be doing is I'd be setting up a position for if it broke to the upside and if it broke to the downside, because there's not really a clear technical or fundamental argument for either direction. You would basically be sitting on this as an opportunist. You'd be thinking, okay, well, there's opportunity for it to go to the upside in a lot of exuberance. There's opportunity for it to go to the downside in a lot of exuberance. I'll enter a trade. I'll have a trailing stop loss that's very conservative, maybe 1%, if that, maybe 0.5% on a trailing stop loss. Or if you want to use dollars, $300, $500 trailing stop loss and let it catch up with the market, and then you just lock in whatever gains you can. This is an opportunist market. This is not somewhere that, at least right now, you're expecting to see just a gigantic $10,000 wick and you're just going to see the market explode. You're more likely to see something a little bit smaller, and we are likely to see something a lot bigger after we have some kind of big news event that we know is going to be bullish, like CPI coming down, or Bitcoin breaking about $25,000, which is a critical level of resistance. All right. We got Shadrach Frost, Silvadala, Crypto Smitty in chat. Shout out to all of our green names. And Colin McDonald, shout out to you as well. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. We're going to do a little bit of technical analysis. We'll go a few minutes over past 11 today because I did start quite late. I do apologize for that. Shadrach Frost said, smash the likes and show love and respect to Jebb for his daily hard work to help educate us. Really, really, really appreciate that, Shadrach, and everybody else is tuned in. We got 700 people in this stream, so if you have not already, hit that like button. Let's get to 300 likes if we haven't already, or if we can. If you haven't hit the like button, then hit it, and subscribe to the channel because I want to bring you guys high-quality educational and informational content every single day. All right. Let's go ahead and jump back onto Bitcoin for a little bit. We're going to do a little bit of technical analysis. I'm going to show you one of my favorite indicators, and we will wrap it out. All right. So Bitcoin on the daily chart. I want to show you Lux Algo. I want to show you a bunch of different indicators, not just Lux Algo. It's one of them. But what we're looking at right now, and this is kind of what I'm talking about, is that we have a buy signal. It's confirmed. I talked about several weeks ago, not several weeks, about a week ago, how this is actually the single most bullish buy signal that Bitcoin has witnessed in 2.5 years. The last time we saw this bullish of a buy signal and this bullish of a buy setup was October 20th of 2020. Just a couple reasons to break down why. We have not seen the market push this far into the reversal zones as we did in October 2020, as we are doing right now, this top area being the reversal zone. We have not seen Bitcoin push that aggressively into the reversal zone since October 2020, and that rally continued pushing that aggressively into the reversal zone for 90 days through January of 2021. That was the single most bullish time that we had, that was the single most bullish event that we have seen take place on Lux Algo in quite some time. Before that, we had not seen Lux Algo be that bullish since back over here around March 15th of 2019. So in the last 4 years, this is like the third time that we've seen Lux Algo be this bullish. That should give us a lot of confidence and enthusiasm for the future. That doesn't necessarily mean we're going to see a breakout tomorrow, but it does mean that we are in a very strong state right now. And if we can maintain that exuberance, great. That's what we want to see. So from this point, what happens? Well, oftentimes what you see happen is when you push up into the reversal zone and you stay up here for a while, eventually you're going to end up trading sideways or you're going to end up having a correction. Now, let's just kind of break something down really simply. If the market's moving in this direction, turn 90 degrees. That's probably the way the market's going to correct. So if the market's moving like this, turn 90 degrees. That's probably about the way the market's going to correct. If you're moving almost vertical, the direction you're going to go in the correction of is almost sideways. So that's kind of what I'm talking about, is that if you are moving just vertical, as we've been just like taking an elevator or a rocket ship over the last 30, 40 days, which, by the way, don't forget that that's a season. That is not the normal. That is a season right now. then you can expect the correction to be a little bit shallow because it's a huge difference, a huge discrepancy from the direction the market was already going. If we were just rallying like this, then yeah, sure, boom, have a correction like that. But if you're rallying like this, have a correction like that. Or if it gets really bad and you went too high, then yeah, have a correction like that. But the degree, the angle of the correction is going to have to do, in my experience, with the angle of the rally itself. You can even see that over here in the bearish side. We were going down on this trajectory. We corrected about 90 degrees. We were going down on this trajectory. We corrected about 90 degrees. We're going down on this trajectory. We corrected about 90 degrees. You see it all over the place. We were moving to the upside here. Moving to the upside about on this angle, we corrected to the downside about 90 degrees. You've probably never seen a whole lot of people talk about that, but that's kind of what I'm talking about. Now, sometimes the market gets really far away from itself, and then you have a much steeper correction than you otherwise would. Oftentimes, that is going to tell you how strong the market is, the angle of the correction. But right now, the market's already going through a bit of that correction. It's going up, trading sideways. Great. So what do we see happen? Bitcoin likely is going to trade sideways here, maybe go through a bigger correction with the effective federal fund rate news, and then it's probably going to come down here and test one of a few different zones or areas of support. But the zone is probably going to be between the reversal zone, the trend catcher, which is right here at $22,000 flat, or the EQ cloud, which is coming up to meet us right here. Somewhere in this zone is probably where Bitcoin's going to end up correcting down to if it doesn't just break straight up through the ceiling. If it does continue to have a correction, it's probably going to correct down into this area somewhere as the EQ cloud comes up to break to the upside. From there, it's probably going to bounce. We have a lot of bullish exuberance right now, and if the market drops $2,000, people are going to say, boom, Bitcoin dropped $2,000. It's rallied $8,000, and literally it has rallied almost $8,000 in a month. When we're just coming out of a bear market, FTX is still in bankruptcy. Millions of people are trying to get their money back, and Bitcoin's doing this. Well, yeah, I'm going to buy that. People are going to buy down here around 20 to 21K if we drop down in that zone. Then we'll bounce and we'll rally, and then we'll see where we go from there. But if we get above 25 right here, which is this level right over here, this level right here that we set around the 15th of August of last year, if we end up breaking through that, bets are off. We're probably going to 30. But again, the likely scenario is that we have a smaller correction first, even if that correction is in time, even if we just correct for and we just trade sideways for 45 days, whatever it may be. As we see the rate market plateau, as we see CPI come down, as we see prices stabilize in the United States, as we see the Russian-Ukrainian offensive and counteroffensive not pick up until spring, but they're kind of just building up armament, and there's not a whole lot of news in that direction over the next month or two. As those things come together, and as the S&P 500 is hopefully breaking to the upside, as it very well may, and as it's trying to right now, as the Dixie's coming down, as you're seeing geopolitics continue to devolve, but at least devolve in a more stable fashion, then you are seeing more of a blank slate upon which Bitcoin is able to build a market. It's able to build a bull market. So that's what we're looking at now. Are we seeing a bull market form, or are we just seeing a rally? We shall see. But what I think you're going to see is that Bitcoin's going to have a big breakout in the next 3 months. However, on this news today, we're probably going to see a smaller breakout, $500 or $1,000, either today or tomorrow in response to it, or maybe it's priced in and we just don't do anything. If you're a trader here, which I'm not exactly encouraging you to be a trader here. I think this is an investor's market, not necessarily a trader's market, at least in this time frame right here. If you're a trader, if it drops below 22K, consider entering a short. Goes above 24,000, consider entering a long. Have a very, very, very tight stop loss. I do mean a tight stop loss, a trailing stop loss if you can do it with the exchange you have, and take what you can get and don't pitch a fit, because right now Bitcoin is in a very fickle position. It can. I mean, I'm not trying to sit here and be this analyst that says it can go up or it can go down. But right now, Bitcoin has not picked a direction, and when it does pick a direction, there's every reason to believe that that direction could be a tiny movement because we're locked in this range, or it could be a huge movement. So it's very hard to predict right now. As I said, this is an opportunists investors market, not necessarily a planners traders market, if you will. This is an opportunists market. This is a market where somebody really needs to hone in, make the most of the opportunity, and in my opinion, focus on the dollar cost averaging. If you guys are enjoying today's stream, there's one way that you can support this stream, and that is by signing up for Lux Algo. You just saw how much I use it every single day. You guys can get it with the link in the description box down below. Sign up using coupon code Jebb, J-E-B-B, for 20% off at checkout. I really appreciate all of you guys that have tuned in. Let's go ahead and read chat here for a little while, and we'll go on for a little bit longer. Daz Meekin said it has joined the membership. Welcome to the Jebbi Younglings. Thank you so much for becoming a member. You now have a green name. And I will be giving you a shout out every single time I see you at the beginning of our morning live stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right. Glass has been carelessly knocked over by one of the people calling for a larger glass, or who had no glass at all because all he had was the back of the. All he had was the back of the. I'm not sure what. Not sure where that was going. Who has a broken glass? I think I said. Or the back of and had failed to catch the barman's eye. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of nonsense going on. Hey, Jebb, what color is my name? Your name, Crypto Surg, is like a red, like a burgundy color. I don't know. Let's see. Joe was really looking forward to an answer about the tax and feel ignored. Is there a professional you know that you can recommend, please? Yes, there actually is. His name would be Anthony Price. You can find him with a link in the description box down below. He should be able to help you. I certainly don't want you to feel ignored. I do apologize. I'm not a tax professional. But since you asked, Anthony Price could help you. His link is in the description box down below. Being BTC Crypto Alert said, guys made the most in crypto by buying low and hodling for 5+ years. That's right. I've still got Bitcoin, I think. I mean, I have to go back and look, but because it all kind of gets mixed together. I'm pretty sure I'm still holding Bitcoin that I bought in 2018. You know, like I'm still holding Ethereum that I bought at the lows around $80 to $200 in, what was it, 2019, early 2020? It would have been January, February, whatever, March of 2020. That's when it was. So we're still seeing quite a bit of that. That helping the portfolio, because ultimately, yeah, there's also positions I bought at 40K on Bitcoin. Haven't been holding them for 5 years. I'm not going to write something off as a failed investment until I've held it for 5 years. I'm just not going to. Now, if there's something changing fundamentally, like the project that you're invested in collapses or it's a rug pull, like that's different. But Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Matic, Polygon, Chainlink, all these different projects, they're not dead projects. They are perhaps hibernating with the market being so low, but they're not dead projects. Colin McDonald said, hope Sarah, Malachi, and baby are going well, Jebb. Yeah, I mean, that's everything's doing pretty much the same. Sarah's having quite a bit of pain with, if you guys don't know, we're 31 weeks and a day pregnant. Today's Wednesday, right? Yes, we're 31 weeks and a day pregnant. So we'll be having our baby girl come out pretty soon. And so she's been seemingly trying to come preterm for about 6 weeks now. So that's something we've been trying to make sure we're getting set up on our end. We don't know exactly what to do about that, but we're just kind of praying that she stays in there and continues her growing until it's time to come out. All right, guys. Well, now would be a good time if you guys had any questions for me to go ahead and let me know. Because we're going to wrap it out here pretty soon, but I don't mind. Not that I don't mind. I love interacting with you guys here in chat before we wrap it out. Let's see. By the way, I do have my hat sitting right here. So for anybody who doesn't know, I got a hat for Christmas. There we go. My wife gave me that. Let's see. Just buy very low cap and hodl. I wouldn't make that your whole strategy. I know a lot of people that are newer to the market that, not saying that you are, but I know a lot of people that are newer to the market and they hold no Bitcoin or they hold no Ethereum. And I'm like, I'm having to hold in my, I'm like, you're telling me that you have $3,000 of Dogecoin and $2,000 of Sheeb and $1,000 of fill in the blank crap coin and you've got no Bitcoin, you've got no Ethereum. That's like buying, what's the company from the Wolf of Wall Street? Don't watch that movie as far as it's a very vulgar movie. But in the movie, they're like they're selling these little Aerodyne. That's what it was called. Aerodyne. That's like holding Aerodyne, but you don't hold Intel. Like, come on. If you're investing in the stock market, you have some in blue chips. That's just the way it works. So just please have a backing in Bitcoin and the big caps. Man, that is crazy. I did not realize that I've been here almost half of the entire BLX charts history. That's nuts. That's so cool. That's exciting, man. I did not realize I've been here for that long. I've been in crypto for almost 6 years now. Is that crazy or what? Like, look at this chart. Look at this. Let me just, I know there's a bunch of charts on here. Here, I'll just, hide all the drawings. Right here. So there you go. See my mouse right there? That's where I got in. Everything after that I've been here for. Everything before that I've not been here for. But in probably about a year, that will be the halfway mark between today and the beginning. Pretty interesting. All right. Like I said, we'll read chat here for a couple more minutes, and then we'll wrap it out. Will you give your daughter a crypto-themed nickname? Probably not. If I'm going to be honest. Probably not. Okay. Abandoned Baby said it's the best movie ever, The Wolf of Wall Street. All right. Guys, like I said, I really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. I am going to have to go ahead and wrap it out. I've got some really exciting ideas for content this year. But I also want to be honest with you guys. Some of it might end up coming towards the middle or the second half of this year, just because we're trying to make sure we're getting ready for our daughter, and we're just putting as much as we can into taking care of her. And we'll share with you guys about our daughter and be like, hey, look, she came, hey, she's here. Probably won't post any pictures of her, but we are really excited to welcome her into the world. And I've got a lot of great ideas for the channel. I've got a lot of great ideas for the course content and whatnot. A lot of that, just setting expectations, clearly probably will be happening in the second half of this year, but that doesn't mean I'm not thinking. I'm almost always just thinking about new ways that we can do content and bring you guys high-quality educational and informational content that helps you achieve financial sovereignty and helps you understand more about the world and the way it works. Anyway, guys, like I said, I am going to have to go, but before I go, make sure to sign up for Luxalgo. Use the coupon code Jebb, J-E-B-B, for 20% off at checkout. You will be glad that you did. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, follow us on all of our social media. But before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.